welcome to my home practice tutorial number 3. So in this tutorial we're going to go through home flow 2. So you'll get these mini flows from my website www.yogaru.ie, and if you go to the article How to Build a Home Practice, you can download this for free, and in these tutorials that's what I'm going through. I'm flowing you through these 3 mini flows here with the aim to help you to develop a home practice, but not just a home practice, it's a self-led home practice, so that every time you step on your mat you're getting exactly what you need, so you're the teacher to yourself. It's very different from doing a class, and you are really kind of listening inwards and seeing what exactly is it that you need, and hugely beneficial to you for the whole day ahead. So we'll get started. On my first tutorial I went through a sun salutation, and on the second tutorial I went through home flow number 1. So today I'm going to go through home flow number 2. I'm going to incorporate the warm-up and one sun salutation, so you can flow with me if you want. But I probably won't be doing all the repetitions that I have in my flows here. So just to recap slightly, if you didn't get a chance to watch the second tutorial, I talked about how to interpret the sequences, and once you learn how to interpret the sequences, there's tons of sequences on my website www.yogaru.ie/sequences. So if you look at number 2, which is the one we're going to practice today, I will start you with the warm-up on your back, and then we come into cat-cows, 5 rounds of them, and puppy-dog. Then it has the sun salutation in there. So we've done a little bit of spinal warming up before we've actually gone into our first sun salutation. A child's pose, and then a salavasana or locust, a back bend. So these are really beneficial for strengthening your upper back. Then we come into our first standing flow, and our second standing flow is in past the small little kind of half sun salutation in the middle there. So the way that you work with these sequences is in between the arrowed lines there. That's called a mini flow. And you go from the first pose to the second pose, or in the second sequence, then you go through all 3 poses on the right side first, then you come back to either downward dog or just a tadasana at the top of your mat, and you go and do those 2 poses, or in the second one of those 3 poses, on the left side, so you'll understand it more when you see me flowing through it. I've kept the start of the sequence and the end of the sequence the same, so that really you're just beginning to ease yourself into the idea of your home practice and getting really comfortable moving through. So your practice doesn't have to be different every single day. You can do very similar things, and that's very medicinal. It gives a nice meditative flow. It's very calming to have a sense of familiarity to your practice as well. Okay, so we'll get started. So like I was saying in my previous tutorials, I always start with a little bit of warm-up on my back. So just coming down onto your back. Now again, like I said previously, I'm just really talking you through the flows, so I'm going to be moving a lot faster than you will be when you come to do your practice. Okay, so you start on your lower back. You just bring your knees in towards your chest and do some circles on your lower back, which just feels so lovely on your lower back, particularly first thing in the morning when you've been quite stagnant and sleeping. And then hold both knees around the left knee, reach the right leg up towards the ceiling, circles with the foot, cracks and pops, all welcome, just easing out any little bits of built up air in the joints, pointing flex the foot. So just working with warm-up, you have to kind of just keep it simple and not get flustered with the idea of warming up. I just take it from either the top of the body and work down, or the top of the body and work up. And literally I've just done my foot now. Now I need to do my knee. And I'll do the same thing on the other side. Foot, knee, and then I'll lengthen that leg out. The next joint is the hip. So I'll do some circles there. And again, it's This is way too fast for a warm-up, so you'll be doing them much slower, you'll be doing much more repetitions of circles. And circling again. And then you can windscreen wipe the legs from side to side. So that's coming into the waist here. And if you wanted to add the arms into it, you can bend and straighten the arms, circle the wrists around in both directions. And then roll up onto all fours. Do a little bit of working out on the spine, so warming up the spine. And the nicest way to warm up on the spine is cat-cow. So you're coming into your cow pose with your inhale. So think of like cow pose, inhaling, so the belly just drops down towards the ground. And then on your exhale, it's lifting, lifting, lifting up towards the ceiling. Shoulder blades spread, fingertips spread nice and wide. And then inhaling into your cow. Exhaling up to cat. And you can even pause in these two poses until before you come into the flowy part of them, where you're running through it with the breath. And just really feel for the space between the vertebrae of the spine. And the next pose in our little flow here is reaching the arms forward into puppy dog or heart opening pose. So just letting your heart drop down towards the ground, feeling that nice stretch to the armpits. Start to feel the stretch along your glutes here as well. So you're reaching your hips back and your arms forward. So there's a bit of a stretch going on in the spine as well. And then coming up. Now in the sequence there, I've got 2 rounds of Surya Namaskara. So I'm just going to go through one round with you, just to recap on the Surya Namaskara. So you're just coming up to standing. Exhale, hands down in the midline. So I'm just going to do one side. You would always do 2, but just I want to make sure that I get enough in here to get you going without having a very long tutorial. So inhale, reach the arms up high. Exhale, folding down. Press the hands together, wake up those arms. Now I always do this version where you come up halfway. It's not necessarily the one that's on the flow there, but I like to find the strength of my upper back. And then exhale, folding down. Step the right leg back, the right knee comes down. Inhale, reach the arms or reach the chest forward. And exhale, press back to downward dog. So you can see there I'm running through the first line of the sequence. Inhale, reach forward to plank. Exhale, knees come down, chest and chin between the thumbs, hips stay high. Inhale, slides you forward to baby cobra. Exhale, presses you back. Downward dog. I'm going to show you the bricks again. I've already showed you this one in the first tutorial, but we'll just show it again. So just for people who find it hard to do the step forward, swing the leg back a little bit, come up really high, step that leg forward, left knee comes down, so that's an inhale. And then exhale, step the left leg forward, folding down. Inhale, press into your feet, reach the arms up high. Exhale, hands down the midline in prayer position. Okay, so pop the bricks away. And we'll continue on. So you would always do the left side. So the full Surya Namaskara would be then the next round would be the left leg coming back, and the downward dogs, and then the left leg coming forwards, ending up at the top of your mat. But I'm going to continue on. And then inhale, reach the arms up high. So we're coming down now towards the ground. And then exhale, folding down. And you just step back. You don't have to worry too much about your transition. So I'm coming into a little child's pose now. 3 versions of child's pose. Either reach the arms back, reach the arms forward, and the hips back for a much more active pose. Or the most medicinal I find is the arms either side. If this is too much of a flexion in your spine, you can pop bricks underneath your head. That just brings you up a little bit higher. Maybe 2 bricks. Bricks stacked. And if that's still too much, you can add your arms or your fists in. You know, child's pose is supposed to be a resting pose, so it's really important to find a version of child's pose that is restful. because it's your replenishing and getting ready to move on to the next part of your practice. Okay, so the next pose then is one of my favorites, Shavasana. So it's not here, but it's nice to press the hands into the ground and really shuffle your chest forward so you're lengthening from your belly button up towards your chest there. And then reach the arms back, legs lift. Lengthen through the tip of the crown here, so make sure you're not overextending your neck. It's like you're trying to reach the tip of your head forward and breathe in. And there's loads of different versions of this when you start getting comfortable. You can reach the arms forward. You can have the arms in cactus position. You can have the legs wider or pressed together. So you start playing around with the poses when you get comfortable with them. Okay, I'm going to move on. So we're coming into our first mini flow now, and you're down towards the ground. So you're like, okay, well the next pose is a standing pose. How am I going to get up there? You tuck the toes under, and just step your right leg forward, hands onto the knee, and here you are in your lunge pose. Okay, so this mini flow, reach the arms up, inhale, and then exhale, bringing that left knee down. Inhaling, and exhaling. Inhaling, and exhaling, and coming up. Now you can come down to the ground if you want a more active flow. You can do a vinyasa if you're familiar with them. Or you can just simply step that left leg forward, hands to the left knee, step the right leg back. It just depends on your practice, how much energy you're trying to get out of it, and also how much time you have. So that was a lot more faster for me to do, just to step the other leg back, rather than coming down to the ground and running through the vinyasa and ending up stepping forward from downward dog. Okay? Inhale and exhale. Inhaling, exhaling down. Inhaling and exhaling down. Inhaling to come back up again. Now I'm going to bring the hands to the hips, because I see in my sequence there, the next sequence of poses is the top of my mat, reach the arm, hands down, midline in prayer position. Okay, so your little intermission there in the middle of your two standing flows. Similar in each one, they're just doing something different in the middle of them. So it's inhale, reach the arms up high, and then exhale, make sure your feet are together actually, hands down the midline, bending the knees, and twisting to the right hand side. Hook the left elbow to the outside of the right knee. Make sure your knees are in line with each other, they're both equal to the top of your mat, and start to reach towards the right of your mat. Top of the head, again, reaches towards the wall in front of you, or the window in my case, and you're peeling that right shoulder back. So this is a really deep twist. And then exhale, folding down. Inhale, reach the arms up, and then exhale, hands down, midline prayer position. So I will do the second side of that pose, otherwise I would feel right for the day. So inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, folding down. Start to twist as you're halfway down. Hook the right elbow to the outside of the left knee there. Check that your knees are level, that right hip hasn't drifted back. And then peel that left shoulder back this time. Reach the tip of your crown towards the wall in front of you. Exhale, folding down. Inhale, reach the arms up high. And exhale, hands down, midline in prayer position. Okay, now you have a half sun salutation there, which I'm not going to do, but that's part of the practice. And you have those 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 poses there at the top of your sequence. So after that standing flow, you're going to do a half Surya Namaskara, and then we're going to come into our second standing pose series. So I'm just going to step back again. You can do the full coming down and stepping back to downward dog, and then stepping the leg forward. So 2 ways of coming into your standing poses. It's either from Tadasana or from downward dog and doing a step forward with the leg. So I'm just coming into them from Tadasana because it's a little bit faster that way. Okay, hands to the hips. I'm just going to step that left leg wide back. So remember I was talking at the start about the right leg. You always do your mini flows with the right leg first. So right leg forward. Right leg is the action leg first, and then the left leg. So arms out, and you find your warrior pose. So You're not particularly squaring your hips to the side of your mat, because that will make that knee cave in, but what you are doing is squaring your shoulders to the side of the mat. Front knee deeply bent, make sure it's not going beyond that knee or the ankle there. Okay, and then we're going to come into Parsvakonasana. Elbow to knee, reach the arm forward, and then peel that bottom waist forward and the top waist back. And then we're going to come into Goddess pose. So we're going to transition to the back of the mat now for the second side of this 3 poses. So the hips come down as low as you can. So what you're trying to do is reach those knees out rather than letting them cave in. And then you just pivot around to the back of the mat. Watch the front heel to back arch alignment. Take your warrior, remembering the shoulders squaring to the side of the mat. That right hip naturally a little bit forward. And then your Parsvakonasana. Bottom waist rolling forward, top waist rolling back. And then circling the arms around. It's a nice transition, it's nice and smooth. And then coming forward, front of your mat, and find Tadasana. So you can see how easy that was to transition through. And that's your 2 mini flows done. So now we just come into our seated section of the pose, of the series, and then into Shavasana. So inhale, reach the arms up high. Exhale, folding down. And then just stepping the legs back, knees down. Swing the legs forward and find your way into Baddha Konasana. So I'll come from this side so you can see me. So soles of the feet pressing together. And then you're thinking about lengthening out the inner thighs here. It's not particularly about how close to the ground your knees come. It's more about lengthening the inner groins and reaching up through the tip of the crown. So it's a lovely pose for finding the nice stacked pelvis. So think of your pelvis like that. And it naturally kind of wants to do this. That's our default mode. But we want it to be up nice and long because you have the help of your arms around, or your hands around your ankles there. You can help your pelvis to tilt forward and up. So you should be able to see a nice natural curve of my spine there in this pose. Okay, then you lengthen the left leg forward, bring the right knee up, take your twist to the right. Looking over your right shoulder, you always twist to the right first. Now you take about 5 breaths in that, and then we do it to the left, making sure that the leg that you've twisted away from stays really active. So that's inclined to go to sleep when it's not being looked at. So make sure that it stays nice and active. And the elbow can either hug around the knee, or if you have the warmth, if your spine is nice and warmed up, you can bring your knee to the outside. But as long as that shoulder doesn't start hunching up and you don't start falling backwards, make sure you stay up nice and tight. So for me today, I'm probably better off in this version of the pose. Okay, and then you can take your bridge pose. Again, like we went through in the other class, you can pop a brick underneath and really just let the hips melt down towards the ground. Or you can take a more active one, roll the shoulders under, reach the hands towards your feet, reach the chest up towards your chin and your knees towards the wall. You feel that lovely stretch between the hip bones and the rib cage there where the body is changing direction. And bring the knees down, just windscreen wipe the legs from side to side. Then you're ready for your Shavasana. So no matter how short your practice is, always recommend that you take a few minutes in a Shavasana. So just letting a little bit of space between your arms and your body, the feet drop out to the sides, even if it's just for 1 or 2 minutes, and just letting yourself absorb the benefits of the practice. And then coming up to seated. Now, so that is home flow 2 done. And then in the next tutorial, I'll be going through home flow 3. Then after that, I'm probably going to do a practice where I show you how to free flow a little bit between these three different flows here. And we'll probably keep the start and the end the same, but kind of like I've done there, I've given you really simple, well-known poses and just mix them up. So in the one after I finish these, we'll just kind of pick a few and move around with the hope that maybe you'll be able to do that too. And we're just gradually moving towards the idea of incorporating, picking your poses that you like, and remembering, everything is on the website, so, there's loads of sequences, and you can just pick poses from the other sequences that you might want to try, or you pick different poses from the cards that you might like to try, or the alignment cues are on the back, and you start to just add them, gradually just add them into your sequences. And then that's where it all gets a lot more tailored to your needs, because you start to get more comfortable with adding poses in that you're drawn to, that you're either interested in, or you feel, oh, I'm a bit punchy in my back, I definitely want to take some nice chest opening poses today, or you feel that you're just really tired, I'm going to do a lot more seated poses today. And you get more intuitive with what you need as well. It just naturally comes, and the next thing is you're subconsciously drawn to poses that you know are going to be medicinal for you for that particular day. Okay, so as usual, any questions, you can email me at ruth@yogaru.ie, and you'll find me on Instagram, Facebook and Twitter at yogaru_Ireland. And that's it. So hopefully you've enjoyed that and you're getting something out of it. Always welcome any questions or requests on things you need to go through. And eventually, when I get the basics done, I'm going to be doing a few videos with literally showing you how to build a sequence with the cards. Okay? So thank you for watching. See you again.